Hey guys, this is Jack, and today we're going to be talking about the new Mission Impossible movie that I just saw last night. And I kind of want to go slightly deep into the movie, but not in a way where I can spoil the entire movie because what I saw last night was pretty good, but I have some problems with the movie itself. So let's dive right into Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. So this final Mission Impossible movie takes place right after the first part of Dead Reckoning, where basically 3 months after the events of the first part, you have Ethan Hunt and his crew trying to run away from Gabriel, who was the main villain of the story. And from there, they eventually find Gabriel, and they try to figure out what exactly Gabriel's trying to do with the two keys that were introduced in the end of the first movie. And then basically from there, they have to, chase across several places in order to find the exact area to put the keys together to end and stop the world. Emphasis on end because there's only two choices with Ethan Hunt. It's either to, use the keys to destroy the entity and basically destroy the entire world, or give up the keys to the US government and let them, use it for their own enjoyment. And this is mostly the entity talking to pretty much everybody in the crew. Ethan Hunt enters this chamber in the beginning of the movie that has all of the premonitions of what will happen if Ethan Hunt doesn't, destroy the entity, or pretty much don't take the key to, the right area. And that pretty much alarms him, and basically he has to kind of plan out in a very sequential order to, bring the keys to an exact place to, So it's the way I'm trying to put it all together, the first hour of this movie is basically Exposition City, from what I wrote on Letterboxd, where basically the first hour is just them talking about where, who, what, when, where, why, the entity. And that kind of boggles down the overall experience of the movie, because you come to this movie to, watch the action set pieces and just the stunts and whatnot. But the first hour is it's pain. It's a lot of pain, but not in a way where you're just going ooh, every time Tom Cruise runs off from a car or falls off from something. It's actually just ooh, these characters are just talking about the entity and not actually acting on it. And that's one of the biggest problems that I have with this movie. But after the hour ends and Ethan Hunt enters this submarine in the bottom of, I think, Antarctica, that's where the film starts to pick up. And then eventually the film, turns into what exactly we've always wanted from these Mission Impossible movies, which is basically just stunts, action sequences, lots of pew pew, and just Tom Cruise doing crazy shit because he's a Scientologist. But yeah, this movie was just, it was all over the place thematically in the first hour, but it picks itself up in the second hour, and where it ends is classical Mission Impossible. Now, would I rank this as a higher Mission Impossible movie? Not entirely. I think it's a step below from Dead Reckoning Part 1, and mostly the fifth movie, which is, I think, I forgot the subtitle, but the fifth movie, and then also the second movie, I put it right in the middle of those movies if I were to rank them. But as far as it being the finale of Mission Impossible movie, of what it's trying to advertise, I think it wraps up pretty well. I don't want to spoil it, but it does go into some twists and turns that kind of make you, hit you in the feels, especially one character who was just wow, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say non-spoiler wise about the film. I will also say that all the performances are pretty solid. I think Tom Cruise is doing his best here. He has a lot more stuff to chew on, even though, the first hour is just him talking about the entity and what it does. But then eventually other characters appear, like Ving Rhames, Haley Atwell, Simon Pegg, Pom Kermler, pronunciation wrong. Angela Bassett has a small role as the President of the United States. She reappears from Fallout to here, where she's basically trying to figure out what to do with the missiles and how to, go about it. And then Nick Offerman plays one of the lieutenants generals of the staff of the IMF, and he's trying to figure out what to do with the president and just other stuff happening around. And then also Tremel Tillerman from Severance is here, and he plays a small role in the movie, and he's pretty good in it. He doesn't have too much to, chew on, but when he comes on, it's just like, wow, I'm glad this guy is like here. He's really great in Severance. But yeah, like overall, I don't have too much to say about this movie. It's exactly what you want. It's a Mission Impossible movie. You get like the big stunts. The submarine sequence is just fucking like chilling and just very like intense. And there's a lot of moments in that like sequence where you're kind of like on the edge of your seat and trying to figure out if Ethan Hunt will escape the submersion of like water, trying to like choke him while he's trying to like find the latch for the key to, put in. And then also the finale with the big biplanes going across mountains and he's like hanging on to it and he's trying to like get to Gabriel. That's a really fucking great scene. And I was kind of like disappointed by the usage of IMAX because I saw this in IMAX and there's only like 4 key scenes that use like the IMAX aspect ratio. I would have expected it to have more of like that, IMAX ratio compared to like, Fallout and a little bit of like Dead Reckoning Part 1, but here it just doesn't like play too much with the IMAX. Aside from like one scene where Ethan is like using like a latch and he's trying to like turn it and like the aspect ratio moves up a bit. That was pretty cool. But other than that, I don't have too much to say. I keep on like repeating myself, but yeah, I mean, it's good. It's really good. It's not like the best Mission Impossible movie, in my opinion. I do think I will watch it again this weekend to kind of like see if I really think this is like one of the better Mission Impossible movies this year or in general. But for now, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, you should see it. You should definitely see it. You shouldn't be seeing Lilo and Stitch this weekend. You should be watching Mission Impossible and actually like putting your money where your mouth is. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoy this like little quick video here. I will be reviewing more movies. Bye.